Hey, you guys, Dev here at WeBuyHouses.com. Welcome to the Cash Offer Masterclass. It's episode number 94. I've been gone for a little while, a couple of weeks, went to the other side of the world. I won't bore you with too much of that story, but in the details below, the description below, I will give you the link to a video. This is me standing in front of the tallest building in the world as it had this amazing light show. It was just an amazing thing. So that's what I was doing the last couple of weeks. I was traveling the world, and on my way back saw this, which I thought was one of the most amazing things I have ever seen in my life. But that's what I was up to. I'm back now, and I'm looking forward to looking at kind of a normal house, just getting back into the game of real estate investing, looking at things that look like the houses that we want, that, the perfect target for us as far as condition of home, type of home, and the situation that the buyer might be in. So we're looking at this one today. It's in Hurst, Texas. 404 Simmons Drive. Don't let that deceive you right there. We're actually looking at 404. That's our candidate right there, our subject property. And we got this email from Fazio about this Hurst Prime Mid-Cities rental near Bell Textron, TRE station, all that stuff. So I know exactly where the neighborhood this house is in. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. This is the target home of what real estate investors like WeBuyHouses.com are looking for. Wholesalers ask me all the time, they'll call me on the phone. They'll say, "What is it that you want?" And it's like, "I want a 322 here in the mid cities." It's like, it should be about $300,000, ARV, something like that. That'd be great. I need to get that at like 140. Anyway, so this is the house right here, the email that I got from our friends at Fazio Real Estate Solutions. And we come down here. It's at 404 Simmons, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,616 square feet. ARV of 310 according to the wholesaler, and they're offering it for 177,700. So that's the deal we're looking at today. And they, one of the reasons I love Fazio is they give us this great information. The condition of the big 5: roof, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, and foundation. And they say no known problems on any of those things. So that looks pretty good. These are the only photos I've seen, just like these little previews. It looks dark to me, dungeony. That's okay. We can fix that. Guys, if you have any interest in the property that I'm showing you today, reach out to Jade Vaughn there at Fazio. She's at 214-646-9646. I have no relationship with them. I make nothing if you buy a house from them. We use their emails and the information they provide as content for our channel, and we love those guys because of that. And, we think this could turn out to be a smoking deal, and I'm giving you the opportunity to go get it, because the videos that I show you guys daily, they are houses that are currently for sale. So I'm not, I'm getting into the theoretical parts of how real estate investing works, but I'm also showing you properties that you could go buy right now, and do this if that's what you wish to do. So yeah, Jade Vaughn, reach out to her if you have any interest. So as we look at the property, the first thing we test, you guys remember, is we first want to verify what is the after repaired value, or ARV, of the property that we're looking at. They say 310. That seems a little high for me in that older 1960 area of Hurst. I know this market very well, know the neighborhood quite well. And so, it seems a little bit hot for me coming into it. So we're going to go look at some of our sources to try to validate what we think the house would be worth in its after repaired value. And then that will help us calculate whether it's worth 177,700, which is what they want. So the ARV is kind of their estimate. The 177 is a real number. It's what they want. You write them a check for that, and you got the house. So let's go look around this property. We looked at the street view. I always like to kind of look around the street, drive around the street just a little bit, and see, what it's like. And this is a very, very typical 322. That's probably, they may have added, but that's probably a 4-bedroom house or something. But you see, most of them are this typical 322 layout. Some of them have converted garages, which is there's pros and cons to that. Not a lot of converted garages as I drive down the road. To be honest, most people kept their garage. I think you want to keep your garage. I don't think you want to convert it, because then the people that will buy your house have no garage. It's like, you know. Anyway, not a bad neighborhood. The typical 1960s kind of situation for us here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And yeah, this is right over by the Bell helicopter plant. I drive by there every day. They test helicopters. They're flying over my head. It's really amazing. It's really great. I love Bell Helicopter as a company and as an employer locally. And a lot of these folks living in this neighborhood probably are working over there at Bell Helicopter. And so let's see. Now, that's what it looked like on the street level. And if we come back on the map, you say, where is this place? This place is right up in here, kind of on the northeast side of Fort Worth. North Richland Hills is a great market for rentals, as is Richland. Really, all these markets, to be honest. These are all homes built in the 60s and 70s max. They're not fancy houses. They're good working class 322, normal kind of houses we're looking for, right? To buy, fix, and flip, or buy, fix, and hold as rentals. Watauga up here, great community for rentals. It's one of the top markets in our area. So this is all great. It fits the model of what a real estate investor is looking for. And we're looking for 322, good schools, convenient access to shopping and places of employment and all that good stuff. And these cities all check those boxes, and this location is right in the heart of DFW. It's actually it's pretty nice. I want this house. Let's see if it's a good deal. As we go to check to see what the ARV is, first thing we're going to do is look at Zillow, see what they think it's worth. They think it's worth $278,600, a little shy of that 310 that the wholesaler was saying. I'm jumping over to Redfin here. Redfin's got it at 260. Ouch, that's going to hurt the average. And then we come over here to Realtor.com, 289,800. Hey, that one's pretty good. Realtors, for the win, coming in, pulling the property value up in our model. I also use a service called Property Radar. I'm thinking about interviewing this Sean O'Toole, who is the founder of Property Radar and a friend of mine, and just knows more about data than you and I will ever know. And so, yeah, I'm reaching out to my buddy Sean and seeing maybe we should have him on as a guest, and we'll talk about how we find motivated sellers and the data that's available to us. That's Sean O'Toole of Property Radar. So, hey, let's be thinking about that. I'm going to try to get him. I'm making no commitment yet because I haven't talked to him, but I want to have him on. Property Radar uses multiple sources in their evaluation model. So they kind of do what we do, but on a higher level. And they came in even higher at 291, 371. That's pretty cool. So now you had Redfin at the bottom, 260, Property Radar at the top, 290. We came out right in the middle. If we take that property at Simmons, I think I'm on two different spreadsheets here. For some reason, I'm seeing my thing there. Okay, never mind. This property on Simmons Drive, 1660 square feet, 1616, at 175 per square foot. That's 282. Puts me right in the middle of the average and the median on these sources that we went and looked at. I feel pretty good about that. 282. Yeah, when I looked at this house and I saw the 310 ARV, I was thinking, probably not quite that hot, but still pretty hot. 282. That's a good value for a 322 home in after repaired value. Now, what could we pay for it today? Well, if it needed no repairs at all, no cosmetics, it needed nothing, it was in perfect condition, we could pay $197 for it, because our model says we take the after repaired value times 70% minus the repairs. That equals the cash offer, and that's what we could pay. So without any repairs, We could pay 197. What are they asking? They're asking 177. Okay, looks like there's an opportunity here, right? $20,000 of repairs that we could put in, and their price would be, right where we need it to be. So that's the question now in our quest as a real estate investor is we know what we think we could sell the house for if it was in perfect condition. Now we need to figure out what's it going to take to get it into perfect condition. We're going to have to make a bunch of repairs, probably on most houses that we see. And so let's go figure that out. And the way we do that is with the emails that Fazio sends me. And if you're a wholesaler, guys, look at these emails. Think about what they're doing. That they are pros at this. You've got to have this, link here to the photos and maybe even some videos, and so that really is now how we do the next step, because we need somebody to put eyeballs on the property. If it's not us with our own eyeballs, it needs to be somebody else with this kind of eyeball right here. Right? Okay, so they got a bunch of pictures. I do not see these any videos. That's okay. We're going to jump into them and see. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice. Now we can actually go in and see the home, zoom into the photos. Fazio has provided excellent content here for us again. And so what's one of the things you notice about this house when you look at it? And despite the fact that there's a very happy gentleman sitting on the porch, he's happy because he's got his house under contract. He's going to get some money and move on down the road. But so as we look at the house, what do you see? Well, you see a window unit. Okay. You see a converted garage. That's something I was talking about earlier, is that, there's pros and cons to converting the garage. And I'll tell you, a lot of people like to have a garage for their car, especially in Texas, where we have sometimes bad weather and hailstorms and all kinds of things. You want to be able to pull your car into the garage. I realize it's very tempting to convert that space into someplace you could hang out, and then you have this, I'm going to be honest, ugly conversion here with some, siding and a couple of windows, and one of them's got a big ass air conditioner unit in it. Don't like that. Don't like that. I would would I? I don't know. Let's get in. I'm thinking I would undo this, but maybe not. Maybe not. We'll see. Okay, it's typical. Same house. Same house. Same angle. Same shot. Okay, we come and we look at the back, and one of the things that we're looking for, we don't, having to paint something is nothing in this business, right? So yeah, you're gonna have to paint stuff. You realize that. We're looking for anything that's like decayed, that needs to be replaced, or as we look at the siding, does the siding look like it's holding up well, or do we need to replace siding or doors or windows or things like that? I see a little rippling in that underside of the roof right there, and so yeah, that's that would be something I'd be concerned about, and I'd be taking a closer look at if I was there. Can I see more? Not really, but it's probably not a big deal, but, and then, I look for any kind of cracks or stains or anything on the brick. It's going to tell me there's some trouble brewing out there. I don't see it. Yeah, man, gosh, that's an ugly brick. And do you see every now and then, I think they stuck in this is, it's a mixed link. Some are short, some are longer. Some of them poke out. Yeah, you don't see that very much anymore, and there's a reason. There's a reason you don't see that anymore. All right, we're in the backyard, and we see another window unit. So right now in the model, look, I'm just going to go ahead and hit it. HVAC. Wait, okay, yeah, 10 Gs. So we're at 188. Because as we look at this thing, clearly they're using these window units for their HVAC, and I see painting and some cosmetic cleanup outside. And is that their back building? Oh yeah, they got a little barn. Show me inside of that. Nobody's mowed this yard in a decade. Ooh, yikes. Yeah, not a great photo here, but what I am seeing I don't like, which is this glossy, crappy, maybe they painted over popcorn kind of thing, and then paneling that's been painted. It's just, yeah, it's a 1960s house. It's been painted like 1,000 times. I bet you can't even see the molding because I just, finally somebody just got some glossy paint at Home Depot and just painted the whole thing glossy beige. Probably 20 years ago, too. I don't know. Yeah, maybe that ceiling. Okay, it's not really pop. I do think maybe that is painted over popcorn. Like it's been painted over so many times you don't see the popcorn. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't look great. It doesn't look horrible though. The beams are kind of cool. Right? Y'all think that beams are kind of cool. You got the open kitchen into the living area. That's for 1960. Actually, pretty cool. Got a fireplace. Um, Windows are probably shot in this place. We might be in a laundry room or something there. Not apparent. Not apparent where we are. Ooh, yikes. Wow. Yee, geez. This would be your laundry room, and it's got problems. We got some plumbing issues over here. So I'm going to come over to my model. I'm going to put one in plumbing. It's a big hit on this thing, but hey, we're still in the running. We're still in the running, okay? But yikes, something, that is going to take a little bit of work to get it back to normal. So are we looking out in the garage or something? Not 100% sure. And in fact, that area for the washer and dryer might be there just in the garage. If I'm picking up what they're putting down, I think that area is there in the garage, yeah. All right, back. We're inside the kitchen, and yeah, these are old appliances from the 60s. They all need to go. So if we come over to our model, we're going to have full cosmetic. That's 16,000 on this house because we need to do the countertops, and we might be able to paint and retain cabinets. That's well, we'll figure that out when we get in. But the appliances are all crap. It's all, no offense, guys. And they may work. In fact, it doesn't look like they destroyed their house. I've seen some people that have just done horrible things to their house. These people look like they lived in it a long time, got good use out of it. But that horse was rode hard and put up wet, and it needs to be fixed up. Okay, so you can see that. Just so many years of paint and very back in the 60s, very simple molding or trim work, that kind of stuff. Do you like the little flowers? Look at that, probably child's room. Flooring all needs to be replaced. That's part of our cosmetic. We're into a bathroom. This bathroom looks 1960 all the way. Really needs to be completely redone. Yep. And we're looking in a bedroom here. And it's kind of exactly what you'd expect. All this stuff, ceiling fans, fixtures, all that needs to go. You need to replace all that. All the flooring, paint. I haven't seen like cracks. I've not been drawn to the foundation problem yet. That one's a big one if it's there. Okay, we're looking out at the water heater. It's been there for a little while. You can see, we can't see in this photo, but I think it might be over here. Anyway, you can find the date it was manufactured on the water heater almost always. And it gives you an idea. And if it's more than 10 years, 15 years, yeah, you need to be thinking about replacing a water heater. Okay, we're inside a bathroom, and it's, amateur job of sealing this thing up over the years, and I don't think it's going to look super great. It looks very 1960s. Now, if we're going to rent this house, we could just clean all this up. We don't necessarily have to replace it. If we're going to flip it, you'd probably have to replace this stuff. Ceiling to floors needs to be done. And here again, ceiling to floors. And here again, glossy paint on the walls in the main rooms is a huge, huge no-no. Do you see how it reflects light? Like the photons are just bouncing and bouncing and bouncing and bouncing in this hall. This is crazy. What you want is a more flat surface, flat in texture, so that it absorbs light and then casts a nice warm glow into the house. It's not like this. That is not what you want. And look, I'm not picking on these guys. We would obviously go in here and repaint the whole house and probably retexture to give it a modern texture and the whole 9 yards. Just telling you, don't use gloss paint in your main rooms. All right, here we are in the kitchen. Like I said, the kitchen doesn't look bad. Looks like they've been living here, and probably, the reasons those things are still there is they still work, probably. So, yeah, the flooring, though, is all needs to go. Purple paint on the walls, guys, yeah, that's a no bueno. You're not going to sell or rent something. This guy might have been like a Lakers fan? Is that what that is? Lakers, I think. Okay. And I'm not even going to comment on that bed. Nope. I'm not going to comment. I have no comment about that. Holy crap. Jeez. Man, maybe they should have tossed that out before they took the pics. That's all I'm going to say. Wow. Look at the floor, which was laid wrong. Look at it. Laid straight panels. They didn't offset the panels. Oh, my God. I mean, the what do you call them? You know what I'm talking about. They're just laid side by side. Wow. Never seen that. Like, everybody knows you offset them, and then you're going to have to trim to make them work on the ends, but you don't do that. So, yeah, floors got to go. Here you see it in there. Never seen that. Watch a YouTube video. If you're going to do something to your house, like replace the flooring or paint or whatever, watch a couple of YouTube videos. Somebody's going to show you how to do this right. That's not it. Right there. I think we're done. I think we're at the end of the pics, right? Okay, we are. I'm going to now conclude the video by looking back at the model and saying, okay, what could we really pay for this house now that we have learned everything that we've learned together about it? We figured out that the ARV is probably about $283, okay? Not the $310 that the wholesaler was hoping for, but that's what we come to expect. They'll have a higher expectation for what you can get. You need to come to your own number through your own evaluation. And that's exactly what we do here on the Cash Offer Masterclass. So there we are, $282 on the ARV. We had a full cosmetic. Generally, I'm going to throw in general repairs, which means this house is in a depressed condition. In addition to replacing appliances and things like that, we're also probably going to have to deal with, just a bunch of minor issues around the age of the home and how long it's been since anybody replaced any of these main components. It may need windows, which would be, an expense I honestly don't have here in the model. And so there's other things to consider. I didn't get any sign that there was any electrical issues. Foundation and roof, I'm giving them that for right now because Fazio said no known issues on everything. But guys, it's things like the foundation and the roof. They're going to make a huge difference for you if you get it wrong, right? You do this whole thing and you don't realize it needs a roof. And what would a roof cost? Let's just throw one on there. 11 G's. Okay, so that's an 11 G mistake. If you got 20 G's in your spread there and you make an 11 G mistake, my friend, you just cut out half your profit by making a mistake. So you've got to get your estimated cost of repairs right, and that's what we did in that section. And I'd revisit it once I've looked at the house with my own two eyeballs. Okay, so where does that take us? Our formula says after repaired value, 282 times 70%, which is our discount factor. That's where our profit and holding costs, everything's built in, minus the repairs, which is just money we're having to pay out of pocket. We're not making money off repairs right there, right? $44,440 takes us to a cash offer of $153,520. That's where I'd be on this property, quite frankly. When I saw it, I was thinking 150. I knew HVAC right off the bat, and I'm just thinking, yeah, that's about a 150 house. Know the neighborhood very well. They're a little hot here at 177, but it is one heck of a discount. One heck of a discount. I mean, if you were going to buy this thing and just fix it up for rental, if you can get in there maybe 160, 170, somewhere in there, and you maybe don't put quite 44 into it, then you could get this thing ready for a rental. But the thing needs HVAC. There were window units all around it. That's all I need to know. Right. So that's what we're starting ground up on a property like this. 153 is our offer, or would be our cash offer on this property. Guys, thank you for joining me today. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We'd love to stay in touch with you and have you be notified when we post new videos. And of course, go to Cash Offer Masterclass. If you'd like to get the calculator that I'm using, click the button, fill out that little form. I'll send you the calculator. And last thing I want to say is that we here at WeBuyHouses.com help help professional real estate investors to connect to motivated home sellers. And we do that three ways. We've got Fast Home Offer, we've got WeBuyHouses.com, we've got Housing Valet, and it just depends on kind of what your needs are, where you are as an investor, what kind of lead flow you're looking for, that kind of thing. Reach out to Mike right there, 817-435-4446. He'd love to talk to you and tell you about how we can help you as a professional real estate investor to conquer your market, dominate your market, get the deals that other people aren't seeing, because we have multiple ways that we're finding opportunities all over the United States, and we'd love to work together with you. And that's it for me today, guys. Thank you so much. Again, go down into the description. I'll post the 4-minute video of the Burj Khalifa that we saw. It was on March 29th, a few days ago. Again, I don't know if video can do any justice to that. I'll just say it was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen in my life. And so I thought, hey, I'll share it with you guys. Love you. Talk to you soon. Take care. Adios.